I wrote and recorded this really sad song at the time called God Took a Vacation. I stand by that the song is like profound.
No, it's not. I'm Claire Parker.
And I'm Ashley Hamilton.
And
welcome and welcome to Memoir Practice.
As the world's leading expert on the celebrity memoir,
In fact, possibly the only people who've ever read a celebrity memoir.
we are here to help the next generation of memoir writers write good memoirs. Our first guest is Caroline Baniewicz, a comedian, vocalist, and someone with a story that she might want to tell.
Okay, I'm afraid. It's not worth it, but I'm ready.
First, I want to know, if you were to describe your childhood in one sentence, where are we starting?
Oh, I don't even know. I feel like muted.
That's a word.
That is a word. You're so right. That is one word. My childhood was, I feel very protected.
Where were you protected?
So a lot of the stuff that people were exposed to, I feel like I didn't have because I was homeschooled, so I didn't go to public school. My mom taught us
So you were homeschooled K through 12.
pre-K through 12.
So womb through 12.
Womb through 12, 1 through 12.
How old were you when you found out about dinosaurs?
I always knew about dinosaurs.
Okay.
But I was only taught creationism.
Can you sum that up? Like, what is the...
Creationist is that like God created the world, the Bible is all facts, the world's only 6,000 years old. The first thing that was ever created is man and woman, Adam and Eve. And there's a creationism museum. The animatronic Adam and Eve are like in the garden with an animatronic dinosaur. Which first of all just sounds like such a fun time. Like I'm not even kidding,
That
like I
does
wanna go.
sound nice.
But not until a few months ago, I was talking about like my education with my boyfriend and he said something about, it's just so crazy that you thought dinosaurs and humans were alive at the same time. And I was like, wait, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
And when you say, what do you mean, the what do you mean is questioning the word thought. As in, this is not something you no longer knew.
Yeah, but it was like the government decides what kids need to learn in school. And my school wasn't accredited, so no one was checking anything.
It was just what your mom knew. And then what your mom's friend knew.
She was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, that one's not important. But basically, like according to the government, I popped up at like 17, 18 with an SAT score, and that's how I got into school.
Wow.
Whereas like other kids can use like, are they top of their class? Are they, so it's like harder for homeschool kids to get into schools for that reason.
For good reason.
For good reason. But I feel like public school or accredited schools, whatever, that are following the government, they like focus on different things than we focused on. So I almost feel like the normal education's like a movie that like I walked in and out of. And so it's like, I didn't realize that they were alive at the same time because I missed that part of the movie.
Like you were in the world, you just weren't like in the mainstream.
I just missed some things. Except I feel like a lot of parents maybe don't let them kids listen to like the secular radio. I don't know, maybe they do. So I only listened to like the radio when I was like in the car with my sister. So it's like I may not have heard everything because I'm only getting it at that time. There was a thing that a lot of the kids that I was homeschooled with had. It was like this DVD player that would edit movies for you.
What?
So you could be like, I don't want any swearing, I don't want any kissing, like all of this stuff. And you would like put the DVD in and it would edit it for you. But the movie would not make sense. And the movie would be like 30 minutes long.
Yeah, because there's no kissing. Most movies are just kissing.
That's what I like about them.
So there's a lot of gaps in your biological knowledge.
Yes.
How did being raised very religious affect you personally?
So I grew up like in purity culture and like modest is hottest.
Oh God.
So at a certain point, we started to pod up with other homeschool kids, and there was like a Christian homeschool educational system in our area. At our like school, we couldn't wear leggings, tank tops. I got sent home one time for wearing skinny jeans, even though I had a flannel that went past my butt.
How does this make you feel on the inside?
I remember being really freaking annoyed because there's no way to hold men to those same standards. And I understand that we have like more to cover up.
Because men aren't hot.
Literally, yeah. But like, why is it my responsibility to make sure that the creepy guy behind me doesn't like, you know.
Did you feel that then?
We were angry then.
Okay.
We were, because I wanted to wear leggings.
It was
They're
the
just
2000s.
It was
Comfortable.
2012, like leggings were at the height of their game. Like,
Yeah.
I was pissed. But also there was like a marketing with the Bible where they would like market to like teen girls and teen boys.
Okay.
Like the boys one was like, Adventure Bible, more gore than ever. And then the girls was like 17 magazine vibe. There was one where it was like, ask guys what they think. And like they asked the guy like, what do you think of girls and guys praying together? And the answer was like, it's pretty sketchy. I would avoid it completely until you're married.
Sketchy.
What do you think of how girls dress? And he's like, it's kind of disgusting when they show too much skin. It's gross. And so there's like one story that me and my sister talk about a lot. It's kind of iconic, honestly. So our main character is a girl in my youth group, right? She was a Nepo baby, like youth pastor's kid. So she goes up there, she's talking about modesty, and then she starts talking about like a story about how she went to the pool with some girls or like the beach or something, and they were wearing bikinis. And she was honestly like really disgusted, and that there was like an older man that they got in the elevator with, and he was like looking at them, and she just felt like, thank God, like I covered up and like I'm honoring my body and like my future husband, like all this stuff.
Future husband.
No, future husband was a big thing.
Imagine having to tell your future husband that you were in a bikini in an elevator with a guy. You'll never get a husband.
You'll never, no, because your body is a gift that's meant to be unwrapped by your husband, so like don't let other people unwrap it before.
Oh my God, that is so like skin suit serial killer.
No, wait,
vibes.
it gets worse. There was a lot of exercises in like purity culture, like you have a stick of gum and someone chews it up, and then like you would pass it to the next person and they chew it up, and it's
But
like
literally?
no, they wouldn't make you do that, but like the joke is like, would you chew this gum that's already chewed up?
Oh, and that's your body.
That's your body.
That's your hymen.
Yes, yeah. Another one was they would have like 2 pages that were glued, and they'd put them together, and then they'd pull them apart and then put them together, and they'd be less sticky, and like at a certain time they wouldn't stick anymore. And like that's what you do if you like have relationships with other people, like your relationships won't be as strong anymore.
To say that if you like emotionally connect with like more than one person in your life, you are like using yourself up is intense.
It's intense, but it's all scare tactics, and that's why it's like so bad, because there's like
I'm
no
scared.
education.
I mean,
so
she's
it's like,
32 and single.
No.
She's not sticky at all.
I've lost it all. I've got no stick left in my paper.
She's a 10-year-old Post-it note.
Wow. So you were hearing bits of songs on the radio. You were seeing that leggings were cool, even though you weren't allowed to have them. Like, were there any other like high school-ish experiences that you were like near having?
Okay, so I did get a like flip phone like when I was like 16, and I'm like talking to guys like a little bit. I know. And there was like a weird thing with this guy where it was like we can like cuddle and stuff, but we were weird. Like we're like, but we won't kiss.
Yeah, because that's like a line.
Yeah, we would like kiss each other's like cheeks. It was like weird. There was one time in the car, and he gets a boner, right?
How old were you?
Like 17.
So you felt it or you saw?
I saw it. No, I did not feel it. Oh my God.
I didn't know if you were like leaning up against him and then you were like, what was that movement?
No.
Okay.
No. He was like very openly like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, let me take care of that. Just like tuck it away somewhere.
That is so crazy that girls like cannot wear a legging and a guy is like, this boner of mine, let me shove it into its parking spot.
Let me parallel park this thing.
And you didn't know what it was?
I really could not tell you what that was. And then I found out later from talking to my girlfriends at youth group, and they were like, well, at the swimsuit party where everyone wore tankinis and a t-shirt over their tankinis, because a tankini is not enough of a t-shirt, apparently there was a boy at our youth group who got a boner.
So there was rumors.
So people had heard about it.
There was like fully people who could have been drafted into a war who had some idea of what might be
We were
a
all like
boner.
hypothesizing about what a boner might be.
We're like, there's something going on, guys.
I guess I'm wondering how you found a sense of self.
So that's how it was really hard. Like there was no expressing yourself. I just felt like I never clicked with anyone, even like my close friends in high school, and like it was the only creative person in my family, and like I wasn't around like other kids that could find like my people, right? So I go to performing arts college, which like it was amazing, but it was also really toxic culture because it's mostly women and gay men, so like just like the meanest people you've ever met. And they weighed us multiple times a year.
Were there like consequences of not being in certain parameters?
So for the dancers, if you weren't a certain size, you couldn't perform in the dance show that year.
Oh my God.
And then musical theater majors weren't like kicked out of the shows if we didn't make our weight, but if you didn't get weighed, you also would lose a letter grade. So one time I like totally forgot, and like I went from an A to a B.
Oh my God.
Did that do anything to you, or you're very naturally thin? So you were like their dream.
Okay, I was very naturally thin, and then I think another thing that's like important is like you don't realize like how you come across to other people. So like I'm coming in so naive. I've like only been in one musical, and it was an edited version of Seussical in a Christian school. And like I remember before I got to college, this like sassy gay guy in my class like messaged me, he's like, how high can you belt? And then like I was just so nervous. But on the outside, like I'm tall, I'm like blonde. I look like every mean Disney like Kate from Lizzie McGuire.
Also, a lot of times I think that people perceive like shyness from like a beautiful person as intense, mean judgment. And
I'm putting my foot in my mouth because like I haven't been around a lot of people before.
Yeah, you don't know what's normal.
Yeah, I don't know what's normal. I've never met a gay guy in my life. So I think like it would have been so much better if I had known how I came across, especially with like this toxic like body shaming culture at my school. I was so skinny, so like conservative and religious, and like had such like judgmental views, and I overshare, and I didn't have a filter, that I'm sure I just said things that were like fucking, like even just like slut shaming. Like I'm a million% sure I did that, by the way.
Also just like the normalization of like the youth group story that you told, where it is normal to just like get up in front of a group of people at church and be like, you all look like sluts. Shaking that off probably took a lot longer than like anyone realizes.
Yeah, and I would never like be like, your boobs are out, it's gross. But I could imagine saying to my friend, like, her boobs are out, like it's like so gross. And then her being like, what? She's a fucking bitch. You know what I mean? I could totally see that.
Yeah.
My therapist said this to me before, and she's so right. Your insides and your outsides don't match, and that's a disconnect for people. And so it's gonna be hard for you to like really get across. You need to be aware of this. And I wasn't aware of that. So anyways, girls are struggling with eating disorders. There weren't a lot of like straight guys at our school. So like everyone's like dating everyone's exes, which is also just toxic. It was just a hard time on the girls. And I'm definitely like a people pleaser. Like I was trying to like suck up to our, like the guy who like casted musicals. Like I wanted to be in a main stage musical. I wanted to be a leading role, you know what I mean? And I like asked him like, what can I do? And he was like, you should dye your hair blonde. So I started like highlighting my hair and like paying for that like out of pocket. Like I was like a poor like college student.
Oh, as opposed to having it covered by insurance?
No, totally.
That's so weird, your insurance didn't cover that.
And he said to me, if you ever actually wanna work on screen, you would really need, you know, to get like surgery to enhance like your like they wouldn't put you on screen.
Oh my God.
With your body. Also, I wanna mention that this guy's like legally blind, like can't drive. And it like hit me what he said. And I went to the bathroom crying.
Who told the blind guy that he had small boobs?
Literally.
Like a TA. And this one, before I grade her on her vocals, was she hot?
No, exactly. That's so funny.
So despite it all,
You moved to New York with your small boobs.
New York City.
Yes, my small boobs.
Like a hero.
Like I'm so brave. But yeah, so I moved to New York. I'm like so sad. I'm so depressed. I'm living with people from my school, and like we were friends, but like they had friends who like, these girls just hate me. Once again, it would like behoove me to know what I looked like, because I was like, these girls just don't like me. Like they don't want me to be part of the friend group. I don't get why. She has massive boobs. So like, you know what I mean?
Like she has everything. Like,
she has it all. And I was waitressing and nannying and getting home at like 2 a.m. and like waking up at like 6 or 7 a.m. to try to get to an audition. Things aren't working out. Like I'm trying to audition for Broadway. Like it's just nothing's happening. And I'm just so depressed. And I had actually like been diagnosed with depression when I was a junior in college, but I always was depressed as a kid. And my pediatrician had told my mom, get me to a therapist, and she gave me like a prescription for antidepressants. And my mom was like, listen, I'm not gonna give you the medication, they're bad for your brain. I'm not gonna take you to a therapist, they're scams. And she was like, we're just gonna pray about this, and like God can like heal you from this. So like that's always been my approach the whole time. Like I just totally neglected it.
Wow, it's really a great way to like continually put the onus back on you, to be like, you're sad because you're not doing enough.
There's something wrong with you, yeah. Like, and like I think it got me out of it a little bit, because I really could not live like that. I really could not. Like I was just so unhappy. Everything was wrong. And then I'm talking with my sister, telling her like how bad like things have been, and she was like, that's really not okay. And she like really forced me kind of to like go seek help. So I start working on myself, and I'm just like kind of like looking around, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like my apartment. I don't like being left out all the time. I don't really think that we're friends. Like, and I like moved. I like had like a boyfriend who sucked. We broke up, and I started pursuing like comedy and putting myself out there, and things just like got better and better and better and better.
What would you say is the main change you made?
Not like being like, God, you can fix this. Like, no, I can fix this. Mm-hmm. On Spotify, like I wrote and recorded this really sad song at the time called God Took a Vacation. I stand by that the song is like profound.
No, it's not.
But it is like really dramatic to hear like where I was at the time. But it was like, you're not there. Like what the fuck is going on? Like I freaking called you. I texted you. Like pick up the motherfucking phone.
Yeah.
And so I stopped being like, okay, this is my fate, and like it's in his hands. He has a plan. Like I stopped saying that, and I was kind of like, okay, like I also have a plan.
So in conclusion, what would you title your memoir?
Oh my God.
I have an idea. It's Are You There, God? It's me, Caroline.
I freaking love it.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and I'm excited to read it.
But thank you guys so much for having me. Like, this podcast literally is the best. I love how fast you guys talk. If this was a normal podcast, this would have been like a Joe Rogan 4-hour episode.
Oh, 100%.